when it ends, it's so sudden. It's kind of hard to describe the feeling. So it hurts, it stings. It's not because of a lack of effort, though. I mean, these guys, we worked our ass off all year, and like I said, sometimes it doesn't go exactly the way you want it to, and you got to find out why and try to make those improvements.
Sometimes it just doesn't go exactly the way you want it to. Welcome here into Teal the Show. The Jaguars season officially over. Tough ending at the bank against the Buffalo Bills. We've had a little bit of time to think about it at this point. Kyle, I think everybody felt good. The team, Trevor told us nobody was making plans until the other side of the Super Bowl in that locker room because they really believed there was a chance to make a run.
That's what we all talk. And I tell you, Jamal, I've had nothing but I got some things to say about this game because I've had nothing but time to think about it. And we'll hear from Trevor in the locker room, and we might have a dial-up later. But it is a somber time. Everyone's kind of bummed. But this was a good team. They played well. They probably played well enough to win. But they talk about all three phases, and you could probably blame one play on each phase that kind of cost them this game. Look,
I said it going in. I hated this draw. We talked about it. What team you didn't want to play in the playoffs in the first round? And I said, anybody but Buffalo. Anybody but Buffalo, because at any moment, Josh Allen could do Josh Allen-type things. He could put his cape on, and he put his cape on more than just once throughout the game, and ultimately the Jaguars ended up coming up short. Look, they played a pretty good game. I think there's a lot of finger-pointing going on right now, but overall, look, it was a fantastic season for the Jags, just a tough ending.
Yeah, no, I think Trevor said it best. It just happened so quick, right? There were so many lead changes in that fourth quarter. Then the Jaguars get the ball, a minute left. You don't even really have time to process, okay, this is going to be an intense final minute. And then just like that, it's over, and it's just like, oh, never mind. Cancel the plans. Season's done.
Yeah, look, kind of abrupt ending, a turnover, put an end to that last drive. Josh Allen had gone down the field. Those quarterback sneaks, they had him in a fourth down situation. They were able to convert it. Look, just tough ending to the season. Overall, look, the Jaguars played a really good game. That was a really good playoff football game if you just watch it independently. Jaguars had a fantastic season, 13 wins, one of the best seasons in franchise history. Come on now. Look, one way or another, it wasn't the ending anybody had in mind, but a fun ride. I asked somebody earlier, I said, is this the most viral moments that the Jaguars have ever had in a single season? And honestly, I think it was. But that just added to kind of the fun, the layers, all the different things that were popping up. And when you're winning, sometimes you get those crazy moments because guys are out there having fun. Football's fun when you're winning.
Yeah, those last 8 weeks where that's all they did was win, that was probably the funnest. I've only covered the team for, this was my full second season. That was the funnest time I've had so far. You can't get better than that. So many victory Mondays. It's a whole lot easier to talk about the team when they're playing like that.
Yeah, look, that's simple. Look, football's fun when you're winning. Sometimes it is just that simple. So Trevor Lawrence has gone through a first full season in Liam Cohen's offense. We saw him hit the hot stride for a while there. Played a solid game. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. One of them, I'm not going to blame on him. Look, DB made a nice play. It hit Jacoby Myers in the hand. But overall, Trevor had a really good day. Kyle, we did catch up with him in the locker room today, right?
Yeah, no, we did catch up with Trevor. And like you said, it does sting, but he's kind of had some time to process it. And he knows that, it was a really good season that they accomplished.
Oh, yeah. It was an awesome season as far as fun. Just the experience with this team coming together. Obviously, how it changed throughout the season, the growth, the steps that we took as a team, individual players, the success stories of guys just stepping up in big moments. There were so many good things, so many positive things to look at. Obviously, we left a lot out there at the end of it, and we feel like we had a real shot if we could have kept playing and found a way to win yesterday. And that's just, like I said, at post-game, it's life. And unfortunately, you put a lot of time and work into it, and you don't always get the result that you want. So you got to look at the things that you can do better and improve on. But we made a lot of improvements this year. We grew a lot. I know personally took a lot of steps. I'm thankful for the staff, all these players that I played with. That it takes a lot to have the success that we had, and I know there should have been more for us. But still, to get to where we got, a lot of work goes into it. So you don't want to overlook that, and because it's been whatever it was, 7-8 months of straight work. So I'm thankful for this group.
Straight work for however many months it's been, but it was a fantastic group. Now, the hard part about the end is that the team, the locker room, that group will never be exactly the same again, right? So next year there'll be some new faces, things change and shift a little bit, and the Jaguars will try and make sure that they have set a new standard and reached that. So we got a chance to talk with a few of the guys, and a lot of them do feel like they have raised the expectation, raised that standard around Jacksonville. The difference a year can make. The difference a year can make, right?
If they felt pressure this year, the pressure next year is gonna be coming down because they have to
Got to match a 13-win season, right?
They either have to match it or they have to go further. It's one or the other, and you know some of those pieces might be missing. You might replace them with other pieces. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna have plenty of time to talk about that. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, it is a short and long off season both at the same time. All right, we're gonna take a quick break here on Teal the Show. When we come back, we got a Duval dial up to try and help us work through our emotions. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the Jags on the other side. That's straight ahead right after this break.
Yes, I'm hurt. But you know what? I woke up this morning looking at the news and everything. I'm not even mad at them. They played a good game, even though we lost. And a lot of people might not understand that. Or they might say, you know, that's just how I feel. We just lost. I mean, I'm not mad at them. I don't even want to criticize them because at the end of the day, I know they hurt too, just like a lot of us fans. Everybody was wounded by this. Now, you know, we can microscope and say, hey, they should have did this, they should have did that. I think we played, like, overall, we played a good game. And other than that, I'm not mad at none of the players. I'm not. It's called a bittersweet. Yes, I'm sad, but I'm still happy with them, and I'm mourning.
I think KJ worked through it, right?
Yeah, I made KD, you know, him and Bush Drive Rich, they've called us all year. You know, we got to give it to them. But I definitely agree. What he said is definitely what a lot of people are feeling, and you can't blame them. Like we said, they played a good game. It wasn't like there was like, you can blame it all on one thing. That's how they collapsed and lost. No, like it was a hard-fought game. And sometimes, like Trevor said, that's just life. And that's why football and life mesh so well, I guess.
Hey, look, here's the thing. He said bittersweet, and I think that pretty much describes how it should feel for a lot of folks out there. Look, bitter because it's over, but sweet because it was a fun ride. I mean, 13 wins going into the season. I think the Jaguars overachieved expectation. I think there was a point, maybe October, where the Jaguars were sitting there with the record, and I said, well, this season's a success. You know, if they don't win another game, we can call this season a success. And they went on and won a bunch more, won the AFC South. So we're now, you know, people thought there was a chance that you could make a run. The team thought there was a chance they could make a run. It didn't happen, but that doesn't mean that this season is anything less than a success, because 13 wins? I mean, where were the team at a year ago? They were top 5 in the draft.
Yeah, I think 13 losses maybe.
So talk about flipping the script. So look, bittersweet because it is over, but it was a fun ride.
It was. It was a lot of fun. And also, I know there's some of that somberness because, like, this exact team with all of these pieces might won't be back. They won't be able to play a game like this again. And, you know, we did hear about one of those pieces, the offensive coordinator. He might be going somewhere else.
Yeah, it's not just players. Sometimes it's coaches, too. And Grant Udinski, there's been a request sent out by the Cleveland Browns to interview him for their vacant head coaching position. Look, the Jaguars won a bunch of games. When you win games, your coordinators become hot names around the league. So Grant Udinski at some point is going to interview for that Browns job. We'll see if he gets any other requests along the way. Anthony Campanile, we'll see. Maybe he gets a request or two because the Jaguars defense did play a lot of good football. Look, if Grant ultimately decides to leave, that's a blow. That would be a big loss for the Jaguars coaching staff. Grant just going to be turning 30 years old. He is one of the hot names, hot minds around the NFL, so having him on the Jaguars coaching staff was a big get, and he's been a big help for Trevor Lawrence, for Liam Cohen in that offense. So at some point, if the Jaguars keep winning games, he's going to be a head coach. Is it going to be this year? I don't know. I think the Jaguars might be able to keep their staff intact one more season. Maybe that's just wishful thinking, but
But
at
we
some
can
point.
we can hope that'd be nice. This staff helped change the culture, and you know, maybe they got some more big things in store for them.
Yeah, look, we like Grant. Grant's great. We talk to Grant and Coach Camp every Thursday, so it's good. But overall, we'll see. Look, they're going to be hot names. When you win football games, your coaches get jobs. It's just kind of the way the thing works. We'll see if they get any more interviews, but right now Grant Udinski going to be at least requested by that Cleveland Browns organization for their vacant head coaching job. We'll see how that works up there in Cleveland, and if Grant Udinski ends up leaving the Jaguars or staying with the team. I know Liam Cohen would definitely like to keep Grant in Jacksonville. I'm sure Trevor Lawrence would too. So overall, it's been a fun season. We appreciate you hanging out with us on Teal the Show. So we got one more episode coming your way on Friday night. We'll take a look ahead toward the off season, and then that's going to do it for us on Teal the Show. We appreciate you hanging around with us for the whole ride. It has been a fun season, a fun ride, and we've enjoyed going on it with all of you at home. And hopefully you'll come hang out with us on Friday night as we take a look toward what the Jaguars have planned for this off season. Good night, everybody, and go Jags.